live from Studio 6B on a Monday, getting a brand new week started. Glad you're in, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Real America's Voice, live from Studio 6B, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Slick Rick is going to do sports on a big sport night. It's been a big sporting weekend. Slickster, how are you?
Big weekend. Doing good, Big D. Big night tonight.
Ooh, big night tonight. National championship game. Of course, we've already had one national championship game. Thank you, my UConn Huskies.
That was a mauling.
Yeah,
that was a beatdown.
That was a crushing.
That wasn't even competitive.
No, 12-1 in national championship games for Gino.
Epic.
Stephen A. Smith said he's the best coach ever. I don't know if I agree with that. He's certainly the best, probably one, if not, he's probably the best women's coach ever, right?
Yeah, I would say that.
I would think 12-1 in championship games.
Pretty damn good.
Pat Summitt was pretty good. Obviously.
Yeah, that's like saying Kermit the Frog's the toughest Muppet. Who cares?
Well, fine, Paul.
Come on.
Hater. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do some news. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, all right.
How are you?
Very good. How was your weekend?
Busy, productive, and
what does that mean, productive on a weekend?
Productive.
Like you got your weed torch out?
well, because I got a lot of stuff done.
It
Need
is
to get done.
springtime.
You know,
Like spring cleaning?
I got a little spring cleaning done.
Was the weed torch any part of your weekend?
The weed torch was not a part of my weekend, thankfully.
Oh, that's too bad.
And and I went to a new. I had Colombian food. Haven't been to a Colombian restaurant in a while.
Me neither.
Haven't enjoyed the pounded steak in a long time, which I used to get when I lived down in Miami, which was very nice. Found it here, gobbled it up. Great dinner.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very good. All right. I'm glad you had a good weekend. I also had a good weekend. Spent some of it with Mr. Nolan. Mr. Nolan, how are you?
I'm well. You know, you always ask us about our weekend, but we never ask you about yours.
No, you know what?
But
I
I'll
do
tell you
ask.
about
You don't
mine
care.
anyway.
Nobody cares about my weekend.
Not even you.
How was your weekend? Exactly.
It was nice. It was very nice. My wife and I, we think we found a tiny little country home on a river.
7,000 square feet.
It's 510 square feet, dude. It's tiny.
Okay, all right.
It's got a little A-frame on top, so you can squeeze 2 bedrooms up there where you're bumping your head into. But it's on the river, and I don't care. And it's away from the hustle and bustle
Nice.
of the city. And my buddies have 200 acres of hunting land 1 minute from there.
Wow.
Nice.
Very cool.
So that means I get the pleasure of 200 acres without paying $1.
It's always good. All right, very good. So we got lots to do. We'll get a lot of news from everybody. Slick will have sports, national championship game tonight, which I think, Slick, you have both of these teams. Was this your final?
Yeah.
This was your final, Houston, Florida, right?
I took Florida to win tonight, but I did have them both. Yeah, I'm number 13 out of your 600.
Yeah, boy.
You're up to 13?
I'm in 13. I'm right there.
Really?
And that's why you're
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to crack the top 10 because there's only one guy that is Houston. So, I mean, obviously, if Houston wins, everybody's. But if Florida should win tonight, there's a lot of folks that are with me. But I made it up to the top.
If Florida wins,
5%.
are you in the top 10?
Yeah, I'm like right there. Tied with like 5 other people.
Wow.
That means you
I'm
get,
right there.
Then you get $300 from Damon. Everyone from the top 10 gets
Nah.
$300.
That's
right?
impressive.
Yeah, I did.
Coming off your oddsmakers performance. That's,
Yeah,
that's
really.
nice.
Redemption in the house. Yeah, did good this year.
Very good
We'll
bracket.
see if Florida can pull it out tonight.
I also had the Final Four, but I did not have this final. I had half of it, Florida.
Yeah, you did good though. You're inside the top 100. You were 80
Yes, I
something.
am now. From 485 now to, I think, 84.
Yeah. Well, you might be 141. I got to check.
Sounds to me like somebody knows.
I don't know. Yeah, and Delgado was he was quiet.
Delgado's on Venus.
No, I had 3 of the final 4,
Oh, very good.
and I have
Still
the
at
final
like
2.
180.
So are these all were they
still
all number
180.
1 seeds
Yes.
in the Final Four?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's not that big a triumph.
No, it's chalk all the way, baby.
Okay.
It is
More
chalk.
chalk than a schoolroom.
But how rare do you have all 4 teams chalk? I mean, that's amazing. All number 1 teams were in there.
Yeah. All right, very good. So we'll get to sports with Slick. We'll get to news with Paul and with Delgado. Lots of stuff. But I think I want to start again where we started Friday's show, because on Thursday's show, we talked about the fact that Victor David Sanson, in his very fine piece in American Greatness, said Supreme Court's got to wake up, and I'm giving them 30 days to do it. And I think I'm giving them 30 days, not because necessarily Mr. David Sanson thought that was his timetable, but he just thought that's the realistic timetable of anybody in this situation. I don't think they can sit on the sidelines for more than 30 days. And then, of course, on Friday, we saw just that. The Supreme Court jumped into a case, put a stay in place on the lower court, And then once again today, I tweeted out, ha, 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 John Roberts must not have any cocktail parties to go to in the next couple months because he finally woke up out of his coma and decided to get active. And Supreme Court overturns Judge Boasberg, sides with Trump on deporting gang members under 1719-8 law. And, of course, I remember on Friday I told you that I thought maybe the craziest story of the day that we hadn't had a lot of time to address on Friday's show live from the America First Warehouse, which, by the way, was great, was this Maryland judge telling the President of the United States that he has to return a criminal, illegal alien gang member back. I know. I mean, right? I mean, that is the response it deserves. If it wasn't so infuriating, it's laughable at the same time. Back to the U.S. And so John Roberts today said, no. The Supreme Court on Monday handed President Trump a major victory by allowing him to invoke the 1719 Alien Enemies Act to deport suspected gang members of Tren de Aragua. The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling on Monday, handed President Trump a major victory by allowing him to invoke the 1719 Alien Enemies Act to deport suspected gang members of the Tren de Aragua for the time being. The ruling overturns U.S. Judge James Boasberg's March 15th order that temporarily blocked deportations. So this is actually Boasberg's order. They also dealt with the Maryland's judge's order as well today.
Right, yeah. He got 2 wins.
Yeah, temporarily blocked deportations under the Wartime Act by granting the Trump administration's request to vacate temporary restraining orders Boasberg placed on the order. The judges slapped down Boasberg, noting the high court had already settled issues over the law in 1948 and limited judges' ability to interfere with the president under the law to a habeas petition. The gang members' lawyers, that's a good title to have. The gang members' lawyers challenged the government. Hey, what do you do?
Don't you mean they should
be gang members' lawyers?
If that was from CNN, it would have said the victims' lawyers.
Yeah, exactly. We reached out to the victims' lawyers. No response. The gang members' lawyers challenged the government's interpretation of the act and assert that they do not fall within the category of removable alien enemies. But we do not reach those arguments, the justice ruled. Challenges to removal under the AEA, a statute which largely precludes judicial review, Ludecky v. Watkins, 335 U.S. 160, 163, 164, 1948, must be brought in habeas, the ruling added. The justices also poignantly slammed the judge and the lawyers in the case for what is called judge shopping. See, I told you, this guy's got no parties to go to. He's not worried about what people are going to think, obviously. Stating the plaintiffs were being held in a Texas detention center and had no right to have their case heard before Boasberg in Washington, D.C. Would have been nice of the Chief Justice maybe to wake up and realize that when Trump was under assault with judges all over the place, D.C., Georgia, in cases that shouldn't have been brought there. They do this all the work in this case in Washington, D.C., and then all of a sudden, whoa, poof, we move it to Florida. Oh, okay. They had nothing to say about that then, if I remember correctly. The detainees are confined in Texas, so venue is improper in the District of Columbia, the justice declared. So, bravo to Victor Davis Hanson, by the way, as he writes and thinks like only he can, that saw this coming. And others did as well. Margot Cleveland over at The Federalist has written about it as well. But no one really put a timetable on it, at least that I saw, like I saw Victor Davis Hanson.
Yeah.
And said they've got 30 days to wake up out of their coma and get involved here because this is a huge problem. And now they have.
No,
Friday and today.
The problem is it's 5-4. You know, I mean, I understand, and I'm usually the one that says a win is a win. But who's that? Who was number 4? You know, makes you wonder. Because you know who the 3 were.
Who was 4?
That's a good question. That's what I'm looking for.
This article in John Solomon's Just the News actually doesn't say what the breakdown was, but obviously I would think John Roberts was part of the 5. So who was the 4? Amy Coney Barrett?
Probably. She would have to be.
I mean, she's the only other one I could even consider in the 5-4.
Thought she was going to be a rock star coming in.
We all did. We all got duped.
Shame.
Well, I think she's been I think she's been a little infected by the Chief Justice, quite frankly, Paul, as well. Let me see if I can find who the vote breakdown here. The 5-4 ruling did not touch the underlying legal questions on the challenge. The court's 3 liberal justices dissented, joined in part by Justice Amy Coney Barrett.
There you go.
The liberals warned of potential life or death consequences. For the victims of the people here, maybe. From the majority's order and criticized their colleagues, saying the ruling flouts well-established limits, creates new law on the emergency docket, and elides the serious threat our intervention poses to the lives of individual detainees.
So there you have
Imagine
it.
arguing 4 gang members. That's an interesting take.
4 women voting against it.
It's just truly astounding. You see that, Obama, what did he deport 500,000 illegals or 450,000, and he was a champion.
More than that, actually.
Whatever it was an incredible amount. He's a champion. He cares about America. Huh. Like I said, Trump can tell liberals, don't drink gasoline, and they'll be drinking it by the gallon.
Professor Cleveland over at the Federalist says this big win for Trump at SCOTUS with the Alien Enemies Act. SCOTUS held what I've been screaming about for the last couple of weeks. Judge Boasberg did not have jurisdiction because of the habeas case, but notes SCOTUS nonetheless improperly issued an advisory opinion. If there was no jurisdiction below, why is SCOTUS saying what due process, quote unquote, is required? Clearly, this was the compromise the majority had to give to get to a majority. But it is SCOTUS saying basically Trump denied those removed of due process. So what's next? Judge Boasberg still maintains jurisdiction over the issue of contempt, but SCOTUS holding that Boasberg lacked jurisdiction will make a finding of contempt appear even more political than it already would. Well, we know the guy's political, so not really shouldn't surprise anybody. Last week, Boasberg strongly signaled he was going to find probable cause existed that the Trump administration violated his order. I doubt the SCOTUS decision will shake Boasberg from that. My gut is the attacks on his daughter destroyed any judicial restraint that he had. The question then is what happens for those in the U.S. versus those deported? For those in the U.S., Trump will likely only provide notice and arrange for departure based on Alien Enemies Act for those where there is no other basis for deportation. And she goes on here for a little bit longer. We'll finish it when we get back. Plus, we'll do some sports and news. Just getting started, but big wins for President Trump today at the Supreme Court. And we'll cover more of it and all the other news and sports when we get back right after this. Time's the game, Slick.
8:50. All right, chat. First super chat of the night, Big D.
Chat.
Mr.
What's
AZ
going
Mikey,
on?
$5.
AZ Mikey.
He says, love the show, providing his truth with humor. And the used tubes, chat is the best. Love all you, even the trunk gambling degenerate.
Man, we got a good audience cooking over there. We
Who's
got
the
David
drunk
Wiles, we got Sue, we got Lori, we got Cat Spee, we got our man Moon Pie.
Broke Spoke.
We got Broke Spoke. We
No
got
joke.
Les Bull Durham.
Cat SB.
We got Mikey Yaks. He's another good contributor. Broke Spoke, always a rip.
Sue Salabaro. Lori Lombardo. Hey.
Hey, Lori.
Hey.
Welcome
Hey,
back,
how you
Paul Nolan.
doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Michael
doing, Lori?
Buritich.
All
Welcome
chicks
back.
named Lori are cute.
Oh, Aaron got a new Islanders shirt at the game, too, huh?
What a little piece of history you got to watch.
Hey, absolutely.
By the way,
Phooey. Phooey. Phooey.
Of all,
those are great seats you have.
of all the venues, UBS.
Aaron was at UBS. You barely
You
scored.
barely score, and who scores?
For
And
the
the all-time goal scorer is
The
UBS.
all-time goal, 895.
Is scored at UBS.
Ovi.
Howdy,
That'd be-
Rumblers.
that'd be the only
She
goal.
caught it on video, too.
I know, she told
Tempered
me.
Wilson in the Rumble rant. ACB got spooked when the justices got doxxed and her kids were made targets. Not sure she recovered from that. That was for Dollar Rant from Tempered Wisdom.
Well,
Could be
probably
right.
shouldn't have accepted the job if you didn't think some crazies were going to come with it.
Yeah, exactly.
In the chat again, YouTube, Marty Cantrell. Member for 1 month. Chat.
Moon Pie, I'm so sorry because I thought it was like from that from the movie Rollerball, Moon Pie Paul. Remember, he's the guy who was Jonathan's second in command. Sorry.
Mr. AZ Mikey, member for 2 months.
Don't ever disrespect Moon Pie again. This is my time.
Sorry.
Yeah. Can't eclipse Moon
I
Pie.
thought you were gender fluid. That's so. How is that even a thing?
Damon, it's Kat's
up, Gary
birthday.
S?
Happy birthday, Kat. Is that Kat's B birthday?
Yeah, Cat's B.
Nice. No cake for Damon. I don't need any cake.
What do you laugh?
I'm laughing at
Ticked
everything.
off Patriot.
I had a little dinner tonight after 27 hours of fasting. Pretty good.
27.
27.
Yeah, 27 today?
Put it in a long one, huh?
27.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, April 7th. Brand new week getting started. Glad you're in. Florida, Houston tonight for the national championship. Florida now down to a 1-point favorite. So the money's coming in on Houston. A lot of people have Florida winning this whole thing in their brackets.
Line opened up at 2.5, was 1.5. Now it's down to 1.
Money
Wow.
coming in on Houston. Total in this game's 140.5. So
Well, I mean, when you look at that collapse by Duke,
that was incredible, that collapse.
you can't just say, well, Duke collapsed. You got to hand it to Houston. Their defense was swarming.
Duke collapsed, pal.
11
did,
to 1.
No, but they
They
did
were outscored
collapse.
in the last
Duke
minute and a half. 11 to 1.
They did choke.
You can't lose a game up 14 with 3 to go and up 7 with a minute 14 to go.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Now, all along, we've said Duke has not been challenged all year long. So
I've been saying that since
you
the
don't get to
start.
face
Yes.
those situations where you got to get the ball in bounds with that kind of pressure.
Yep.
And listen, I don't want to hear anything about. I mean, I agree that the over the back rebound from Cooper Flagg was a horrendous call, but that's not why they lost the game.
No.
I mean, come on, stop.
No, you can't pin it on that. Yeah, that was a lousy call.
It was an
but still.
absolutely horrendous call, but that's not why they lost the
That game wasn't lost on that one play. No, sir.
John Shire shouldn't sleep for about 3 months.
If they caved in and crumbled off of one play, even when momentum is rolling, they deserve to lose anyhow.
Yeah, no question. But we'll be following this game. Tip-off is in about 20 minutes, Big D.
Yeah. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's start off with some news tonight and hear what that is. Rick Delgado. What's going on in the news, Delgado?
Right. Well, you were talking about the Supreme Court win, of course, and read, of course, the decision by the Supreme Court. Also, again, there's a lot of talk. Everybody's talking about tariffs. And we've seen it time and again where tariffs. Everybody wants to know what's going on with the tariffs. And we've seen the overreaction. And I believe the new phrase is called a panicking. As Trump rolls out a new phrase saying he needs people not to become panicans when it comes to tariffs. Here is, let's see, we've got a bunch of clips I want to make sure we get to talking about tariffs. Here is Donald Trump talking with Joe Rogan. Real quick one. Cut 2. Here he is talking about why your favorite politicians and mine, you know, the fake Republicans and the Democrats, they all hate tariffs. And here's Trump explaining it. Cut number 2.
And you know why? Because countries were putting a lot of pressure on America. We don't want to pay tariffs. Please don't you? You know, believe me, they control our politicians. If you look at the kind of numbers that these guys make then and now.
Yeah. And he's talking about the influence that these other countries have over our own politicians. Why you always see these guys doing, we're doing a delegation over to this country. We're going over here to this country. Why are representatives and senators always visiting these foreign countries, setting up little deals for themselves? And of course, that's where the money gets rolled in through the lobbyists.
I mean, listen, I don't know what's going to happen here, but they're going to write they're going to write books about this, what he's doing, and I don't know if the books are going to be it's genius or it's going to be it was the biggest self-made disaster ever.
Yeah.
But
The hell was that?
Okay, that's my cue to say, well.
somebody's got a new computer. That's nice.
No, not a new one, just a failing one.
Okay, good.
Blue screen of
Harry left his
death coming.
computer here. Harry left his computer here. You know, when people's pocketbooks get messed around with, they don't forget it and they don't take it lightly. So, I mean, I think you can be the biggest supporter of President Trump, but most people do not understand what's going on right now.
No.
They can spend the time trying to figure it out, but most people do not understand this stuff, so they rely on they're listening to Scott Bessent, and you're listening to people who know. But
I mean, Scott Bessent is a market strategist. This is a guy who ran global liquidity markets. I mean, this guy knows everything from top to bottom. And then, I spent a lot of time today. I spent probably about 6 hours today trying to look at every different option I could on the tariffs. And I listened to people who absolutely hate Trump. And even Judge Napolitano had Jeffrey Sachs on. Sachs is an arrogant blowhard, but a smart enough guy. Judge Napolitano seems like a jilted lover with Trump, so you can't take a lot of what he says. You know, he's almost like a never Trumper now with what a child he's turned into. But I listened to quite a few different people, and most of the real macro analysts who have who are totally disconnected emotionally from the situation, they're talking about how between the business cycle hitting a low, which was coming from Q4 of 24, to the liquidity cycles, to the business cycle, to the market sentiment, and all the technicals really show we're about to take off in the next 3 to 6 months because this sell-off had to happen.
Right.
This is just simple. This was all baked in from the ride up to this drop now. To me, the fear index is overextended. Everybody's pumping fear-mongering because, let's be honest, half the media or 90% of the media wants Trump to fail. So everybody keeps seeing this, and even the most stoic guys I know in the markets, they're feeling it a little bit. The fear index is at 4, D. That's as low as it's ever been in the U.S. market, 4. It goes on a scale of 1 to 100. Greed is 100. Petrified is 1. So for the fear greed index to be that low and the market's still hanging on, I got to be honest with you, I'm seeing things on sale. That's just how I see it.
Yeah,
I'm a financial advisor. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. I'm working on that. But I've really put a lot of time into this day and really tried to disconnect myself from my Trump fan club thing. I want to challenge him. I want to look at everything like, how would I feel if Biden or Obama did this? I try to look at it the exact same way, to keep myself objective and rooted. I really think the future is bright for America. I just believe it.
Yeah. And when you look at U.S. inflation is down, I guess the gauge is showing 1.2%, which is good.
Right.
First time in 4 years, crude oil is under $60.
Big.
That's good. Egg prices, 59% down, under $3 a dozen. That seems good. The March jobs report that just came out last week.
Good.
Good. Of course, it'll probably be revised down. They always revise it down. And what did the stock market do? It went back to September's October numbers, which everybody thought was doing great at the time. So if that's the pullback to get, like Paul, you were saying about ramping up and getting ready to take off, that's not. Everybody, again, it's that fear mongering that people, that everybody trades in. Oh my God! And there's so many incredible economists on Facebook these days. I just don't understand how they don't make money doing economic stuff because they're so smart.
You talk to any liberal, ask them who's your favorite economist, and they can't tell you a name. You know. But if I could, just one last point, the one thing that I really took away from all the time I put into it today, and I'm still left confused. I don't act like I'm not. Is that this is like everything else, a currency war. Trump knows that he's got to weaken the dollar, which sounds counterintuitive because weaker dollars creates more liquidity,
Right.
which loosens up the international market, which makes trade easier. And then that'll put pressure on the Chinese dollar. And then that will then raise the Japanese dollar, which will be a trickle-down effect, which will really open up markets. It's really interesting. Like when you spend some time watching it, reading about it, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, and the White House announced a bunch of countries are lining up to talk deals, one of which is EU President Ursula von der Leyen. That's basically a James Bond villain name. Here she is talking about ready to offer zero tariffs.
Sounds like
cut
somebody from
number
The Sound
3.
of Music, quite frankly.
Here she is with the sound of Let's Talk Deal, cut 3.
We stand ready to negotiate with the United States.
Oui, oui. Yep.
Indeed, we have offered 0 for 0 tariffs for industrial goods, as we have successfully done with many other trading partners.
Really?
Because Europe is always ready for a good deal.
Really? So why didn't you do that before these things were levied? Because they didn't have to. Correct.
Because they knew they had a gravy train.
Exactly.
Yep.
Everybody got to make money off you, the working man's back, and more like moon pie.
Good catch.
You're going to be apologizing all night for that.
I love moon pie.
All right, we're back right after this.
You see Maceo?
Yeah.
Like Maceo Parker?
Yep.
You know who that is?
I've met him. Sure.
Get out of here.
I sat with him. Yeah. In
Get
Paisley
outta
Park,
here.
Yeah. Man, 2002.
No way.
Yeah,
I love
I
Maceo.
hugged him
Talk
when he came
about
off the
funk.
stage, too. Yep.
He's got so much.
Oh, Maceo.
He's
They
awesome.
They came to Hofstra when I was there.
I love Maceo Park. He toured
can't
with Prince.
believe you know
He
who
toured
he
with
is. That's
Prince.
so cool.
He
That's
loved
great.
Prince. Prince had him in his band.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him live like 7 times.
Yeah,
I
we
saw
sat
him
with
down at
him.
Tippy Tina's in New Orleans. I've seen him on booze
I
cruises
know,
in New York City. I love him.
Huge Prince connection. Huge.
That's cool,
Oh, my
man.
God. I met him in Prince's house, actually. Man, 2002.
No way.
Yeah,
man.
we
That's
sit there.
great.
There's Maceo. I'm like, Maceo. He's like,
He's great, man.
he's a great guy, too.
You ever
Very
listen to the
sweetheart.
Funky Meters then? The
Yeah.
Funky Meters like in the
He's
same
timeless, too.
timeless.
Yeah, big D. Ticked off Patriot in the YouTube chat. At Damon Roberts, at LFS6B. Same people that thought men can get pregnant are now suddenly tariff experts. I like that one right there. Ticked off Patriot.
Oh, ticked off.
That's a
Good,
good, right?
man.
Now they're tariff experts, Big D.
Now, does ticked off go by they them? Because I don't want to misgender anybody else tonight.
I'm not sure.
Just kidding, brother. That's funny, man.
I'm not sure. That's good, though.
What a great line.
Aaron, yeah.
That's a
That,
great line.
oh, the Dodgers, yeah. I did see that earlier. Meetings all day. But yes, I did see that. Oh, they went
John
to
LaVoy,
see Trump
thank you
today,
so
right?
much.
Oh, you got that? Oh, that's
Supporting
great.
Yukon women.
Sound on Rav much better. What's she talking about? Nancy Ackley on Facebook. Sound on Rav much better.
Oh, maybe
See
because-
y'all later.
Better than what?
Yeah, better than what? Our
Or
sound
when?
on Facebook? Our sound on Facebook's fine.
Yes,
I mean,
sounds
it'll-
better than what we.
Fridays will still sound a little different because we're in a different space, but that's about it.
Come on now.
We have 218 likes, and we have 1.1
Million?
Catsby. I know. I just playing because I've made a mistake before.
Someone said my 401k. Who was it? Where is that? Dave Syverson. My 401k went up today, but a federal judge ordered my return back.
That's a good one right there. I like that.
Hey, Becky.
Are we still doing news out of this, or you want to jump to sports?
Oh, you don't want to do sports?
No,
Well, I guess not. 30 minutes past the hour live from Studio 6B. Want to say hi everybody in the chat who's watching on Facebook, Rumble, X, Getter, wherever you're watching. I especially want to give a big shout out to a familiar name I see in the Facebook chat. Baseball season. Watch out, Damon. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I will watch out, Miss Sharon Reynolds. I will watch out. Thankfully, I won't have to watch out as much as I had to watch out when you were my catcher and I was the pitcher and you threw the ball back at me and hit me in the eye when I wasn't looking. That's why I've had a detached retina and everything else. It's because of her. Why? She's in the chat right now, the person responsible for all of this.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
She?
I threw it in.
Yeah.
First baseman called my attention. She's catching. Unfortunately, she was good, so she played on the team. I looked to first base, and she throws the ball back at me and hits me in the eye.
Was this the Bad News Bears? Did you play on the Bad News Bears?
No, but what kind of catcher does that? She does it.
Aren't you supposed to keep your eye on the ball?
Yeah.
I coached.
Are you guys defending her?
Well,
and by the way, she must have.
Well, it was a guy on first, so I thought maybe guy calls my attention. I look. She
Who's
throws
on
the ball.
first?
Boom. Who's on first? So now she's in the chat saying, "Damon, watch out, baseball season."
Oh my God,
that's not funny.
Keep your eye on the
that's
ball.
hilarious. What's her name again?
That is a good one.
Sharon.
Hey,
Reynolds.
Sharon Reynolds.
By the way,
Sharon's got a
Sharon
cannon.
Reynolds.
The great Sharon Reynolds, sister of the
Burt.
I was going to say
Burt
the greater,
Reynolds?
but I will not.
No.
The as equally
Speaking
great
of Florida.
Jimmy Reynolds,
Who the
Major
hell's
League
Jimmy?
umpire for
Oh, that's right.
quite some time, number 77, who's now, I believe, retired and enjoying retirement, probably still doing stuff with baseball. The great Jimmy Reynolds.
I bet you he never got hit in the face from his sister.
No, she never hit him in the face with anything.
Because he always paid attention.
And every time Damon came over the house, he yelled, "Out! Out!"
Get out of here. Oh, Jimmy had a great strike three move.
They probably were like, "Hey, David, it's time to get out of here."
Damon, watch it. Out. All right, let's do what are we doing? Sports. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell.
Ticked off Patriot says Damon had a girl throw a softball and hit him in the eye.
It wasn't a softball.
Hey, you
Was it a
learn something
softball
new every
question?
day.
Wasn't a softball. She heaved it at me as hard as she could.
Really?
Regular baseball.
I don't think so.
Man.
Oh, no, she did.
She didn't throw it
No, trust me. She
to hit
did.
you in the face.
I haven't, and I don't let her forget about it either, by the way, as you can tell.
Yep.
Let's do sports. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, big night. Obviously, NCAA March Madness all comes to conclusion here April 7th tonight in San Antonio. It's going to be a great game, right? The Gators and Houston. It's going to be just unbelievable, but we'll see what happens.
Did you cry when you got hit in the face?
Are you kidding me? I went to the hospital.
Because there's no crying in baseball. You realize that,
No, there's
right?
no crying in baseball. No, I get it.
All right. Well,
guess he
before
cried.
we get to the Cougars and the Gators, Big D, I know this is yesterday's news, literally, but we had our very own resident Aaron there at the game yesterday when Alex Ovechkin broke the all-time goal record held by Wayne Gretzky for quite a few years, I guess probably 35 years, when he broke Gordie Howe's record back in the day. Alex Ovechkin's goal, the great eight scores goal, 895 to break Wayne Gretzky's record. He did it in of all places, Slick Rick's favorite arena. You barely score would have the all-time leading goal scorer. Score is 895th to break Wayne Gretzky's record. A little bittersweet. You know, I was never a big Ovechkin fan, but we're not going to get into that. But I do want to show the clips because Aaron was at the game yesterday. So Aaron has those clips at UBS. Here we go. Nice seats. There's Ovi sliding across the ice.
I mean, what's with the yelling like a girl?
I don't know what happened.
Oh, you are a girl.
It's almost like she got hit in the eye with a...
I just don't get it. As a lifelong season ticket holder of the Islanders, everybody gets their record or their first goal against us. Why are we happy about this?
It is the truth.
I want Ovechkin to get it. But get it elsewhere, not in our house against our guy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Vin and I were talking on the show the other night, and sure enough, we said, watch what's going to happen. He's going to end up getting it in the Islanders Arena in UBS. So
You guys nailed it.
Incredible, but great seats, Aaron. And I think there was a speech, too. The Gretzky came out, and also Ovechkin, of course, thanked the crowd. Usual signatory spout. I don't know if we have the clip on that, too, the speech.
Yeah, no, I don't have the clip, but
Okay.
Can't pick football games, so would you pick this? Good one, Slick.
Well, Putin congratulated Ovi, too, obviously, from Soviet Union. He was great. But 39-year-old Ovechkin surpassed Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record of .894 on Sunday afternoon. The great one scored in his final goal March 29th of 1999 was when he scored his last goal. So a little bit while ago. 26 years ago, right? 27 years ago. 26 years ago. Ovechkin entered the season with 853 NHL goals and started off red hot with 15 goals in his first 18 games. A broken fibula in November took him out of the lineup for almost 5 weeks, but when he turned to the Capitals, he didn't miss a beat with 4 goals in his first 5 games back from injury. I mean, he's having an incredible year at 39 years old, this guy. It's absolutely a stunning year for him. And the Capitals, they have 5 games remaining on their schedule after Sunday. He officially hit 894 goals, just 1 fewer regular season games than Gretzky, 1,846 games. Gretzky and his family were in attendance to watch Ovechkin overtake the record. You know what they say? Records were made to be broken. We've all heard that before. But really just an incredible feat for him to do that, as it was for Gretzky way back when. I don't think Wayne Gretzky's all-time point record will ever get broken or ever get touched. That man was
Connor
getting
McDavid might be, but it's such a different game now, right? The goalies are so much better.
Goalies are a lot
Defense
better.
is so much tighter.
It was just, just an incredible situation there that
Hey,
went on.
Slick, did you see the clip of Gretzky talking about when he broke Gordie Howe's record? He was so nervous. And he's like, and his father said, hey, when someone breaks your record, be just as gracious.
And he was.
He was
a class act. Actually, he went to the last 2 games. He was at UBS last night, came onto the ice, gave a nice speech, and really congratulated Ovechkin. And, that's what's well, he's a great sportsman anyway. A lot of talk about him making the Prime Minister of Canada. That would be something. But
he's a Trump guy, so let's...
I'd love to see it, but I'm not sure he's going to want to do that. I'm not really sure he's up to that. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the great one. The great one, though, his record falls yesterday to Alex Ovechkin.
To the grade 8.
Yep, the grade 8. The grade 8 overtook 99. And that's a wrap in sports. Yep, that's a wrap in sports for this segment.
All right, Slick, very good. 36 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. I want everybody in the chat to stop talking to Sharon. She does not deserve anyone speaking to her or asking her any questions about the day she tried to kill me. It's not acceptable.
Oh, my goodness.
Can we get Sharon as a guest on the show?
Yeah,
no, we cannot have her as a guest.
Can we have her fill in when you're not here?
She could be a pitchman.
No, I was not, by the way, whoever asked, I was not identifying as anything specific to play on the girls' team.
She can read better than you can.
Well, that's true. She can, yes.
Damon, Wheezy Cat in the Rumble chat wants to know, why was Damon playing on a girls' team? That's a good question.
You don't know this, but Damon's old name was Helga.
Sharon's not your new favorite person. Stop it.
Wow.
This is great.
She harmed me.
Aaron, you
see, this is where the audience just, I don't know. It's field day time on me.
Here, let me. I'll do something.
Just don't about it.
Hey, there's your comfort doll.
Yeah. So let me explain.
Big D.
Show us on the doll. Show us on the doll where Sharon hurt you.
Look out.
Boom. Hey, are those protective glasses on there?
I should have been.
There you go.
At the time.
That's
kind of looks like Abdul Jabbar.
I forget who it was. Somebody in the Rumble chat gave me that idea, and I can't find it because it goes by so fast.
Oh,
that's so fun. Where on the doll did she hurt you?
Damon, maybe you should try ping pong. Yeah, well.
Oh, my God. Anything with balls, stay away from Damon's face, because
oh, boy.
Take it in the eye.
There goes the chat.
What?
You just need a catcher who, whatever. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Who was doing what she was supposed to do with getting the ball back to the pitcher?
Who's looking at first base? No, I don't think so.
The catcher was virtue signaling.
All right, let's do some. Are we doing news, Paul Nolan? Let's do some news. Paul Nolan is here on a Monday. Shut up, Slick. Here's Paul with the news. What's going on, Paul?
This is from Breitbart. Trump's reciprocal tariffs prompt Japan trade negotiations with the U.S., right? We talked about the EU, and we've talked about quite a few people coming around. Well, President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs have helped open what now?
Damon lost the bet to the Sphere and got beat up by your girl. That's very mean.
That is.
I'm sorry, Paul.
It's accurate.
That was a dollar rant from Tempered Wisdom.
That's great. So as a result, Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is looking to negotiate. What happened? That's wrong. That's a cultural appropriation. I'm sorry. I identify as a girl now. The countries from all over the world are talking to us, Trump said. Tough but fair parameters are being set. Spoke to Japanese Prime Minister this morning. He's sending a top team to negotiate. Trump wrote on his Truth Social, they have treated the U.S. very poorly on trade. They don't take our cars, but we take millions of theirs, like agriculture and many other things. It all has to change, but especially with China. That's what Trump said. China. So that's nice. We're seeing everyone's kind of folding as we expected, and maybe this is just going to work as we planned. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everyone's folding, but he does seem like the president today made it a point to say, I'm going to negotiate with a lot of people, but China's not one of them. He said, if you think you're going to put a 30-something% tariff on us on April whatever, the next day, I'm doing another additional 50% on top of that.
Listen, what we know about China is China's stock market has been in kind of a steady decline for quite a while. Plus, their birth rates are at incredibly staggering low rates. There's really no future in China. I mean, we saw what they were doing with those ghost buildings, Rick. Do you remember that? They were the housing departments were giving money to builders to build sky rises that are empty.
Yeah,
so
they have entire cities that are
ghost towns,
brand new cities.
Yeah, and that was just because they had to find a way to pump up a fake economy.
Right.
So, this could really be something that cuts the legs out from under them. But let me
play one more clip on tariffs before we move on. Maria Bartiromo this morning was on before the president did his joint press conference with Netanyahu, and here's what Maria said.
It is going to have an effect on Main Street. Some things will become higher priced. We will see some products actually be raised in price because companies will pass on the cost of tariffs to consumers. I would expect that. That's why you have some people saying that we could see a recession, we'll see a growth slowdown. This morning, Nancy Lazar, who I follow very closely, and I think she's terrific, from Piper Sandler, she says if the tariffs stay in place for at least the next 6 months, even if only 50% of the price shocks where we're seeing products go higher in price show through the economy, U.S. real GDP is on track to decline about 1% in the second quarter and in the third quarter, with unemployment rising. But look.
So, I mean, and again, we've been talking about the Atlanta Fed and where they're coming up with this negative. They went from positive 2 point something in the first quarter to negative 2.8. Now they're like negative 3 something. I think I reported the other day, the Atlanta Fed. And Howard Lutnick was asked about it, and he thought they were literally out of their mind. But you have to wonder if they were maybe forward-looking into thinking.
I think it's fear-mongering. I think the Fed puts more pressure on Trump than any other president we've ever seen, and I think they see him as an enemy.
And when you look at the market today, Dow Jones was down 349 points. I mean, not 3,049 points.
Well, recovered.
300.
Yeah, it was down, I think, 1,800.
And we know the Fed had a secret meeting today. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, big comeback.
But the 10-year is back above 4. And the 10-year is what everybody points to. Obviously, the 10s and 2s when it comes to refinancing the debt and things like that. So the 10-year is back above 4. It's not 3.7.
Everybody's got something to say about your baseball playing days there, Damon.
No, stop. I don't want to hear it.
So I was just going to touch on it, but Taiwan offers zero tariffs. India wants a more equitable trade deal. So between that and Japan and the
Vietnam.
EU, I mean, who knows? And we'll see where this goes. Do you need to change the channel for the basketball game?
It's CBS.
I will.
Super chat.
Yeah. Just came.
Super chat. LSU Patriot, $2. Also, D, have you guys chosen a university yet? Oh, they were asking you if you chose a university for your son.
We think maybe Sacred Heart. We're getting down to it.
You have it. And LSU Patriot had another $10. So I haven't been able to super chat you guys. My bank account got hacked and then frozen.
Whoa.
But I'm back. Just wanted to say hi. Saving for my trip to see you guys at the warehouse.
Nice.
Great show so far. LSU Patriot coming up to see us. My man.
That's cool.
That'll be nice. When do we figure on that, Big D? Early May?
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
LSU Patriots from Cincinnati, right? I'm just kidding. He's like the Cincinnati kid.
UKRP.
Was that the Naked Gun? Oh, you're thinking of a Sheboygan kid out of Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, Cincinnati.
Did you guys see the coming attractions of the new version of Naked Gun with Liam Neeson?
No. I saw like a still, but I was like, why are they doing it?
Why are they doing it? And what do you call it? What is the Zucker brothers aren't in on it? It was creepy too because the opening scene, Liam Neeson's a little girl licking a lollipop, and then he's in his underpants as a grown man. It was like
that's a bad transition.
It really was creepy.
That's weird.
That was his. I don't know.
I'm out. Big crowd tonight. Look at that.
Thanks, ticked off.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, April 7th. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Paul Nolan's doing some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Hope you had a great weekend, everybody. Going to be another busy week on the show, obviously, with tariffs and everything else going on. There'll be plenty to talk about. One of the other things, though, I wanted to touch on was Trump today, obviously, in the Oval with Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump says U.S. and Iran will hold nuclear talks. The president said there will be a, quote, very big meeting on Saturday. President Trump said today that the U.S. would hold nuclear talks at almost the highest level with Iran in a meeting that's set for Saturday. Trump said today the negotiations would involve direct talks with Iran, but a person familiar with the arrangement said no face-to-face meeting had been agreed upon by Tehran. Quote, we have a very big meeting, the president said today, and we'll see what can happen. Sitting along Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office, Trump didn't specify who would represent the U.S. in the negotiating team or where the meeting would take place. Whether the negotiations are face-to-face or through intermediaries, they would be the first between Trump officials and Iran since he returned to office. He withdrew from a previous nuclear agreement with Iran in 2018 during his first term. Iranian officials reiterated Monday before Trump's remarks that they would only agree to indirect talks for now, mediated by a third party. Trump, who had previously threatened to bomb Iran if it didn't end its nuclear work, said Monday the country would be in great danger if these talks prove unsuccessful. To quote the president, he said, I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious, added Trump, who apparently referred to military strikes on Iran. And the obvious is not something that I want to be involved with or, frankly, that Israel wants to be involved with if we can all avoid it. So we're going to see if we can avoid it, but it's getting to be very dangerous territory, and hopefully those talks will be successful, end quote. A senior European diplomat said they were aware of the talks taking place this weekend. Israel officials knew talks were expected. Well, Netanyahu was sitting 3 feet from the president today, so he's well aware. Trump appears intent on direct negotiations to avoid prolonged and possibly inconclusive talks. What we're not going to do, he said, is get into the old Biden trap where you do indirect talks that last for years and years and years, and the Iranians just string us along. Morgan Ortagus, the U.S. Deputy Middle East Envoy, said in an interview with El Arabia, aired on Monday, said if we're going to have talks, they need to be quick. They need to be serious, and they need to be about dismantling the nuclear program. Iran's foreign minister said Sunday that direct talks with the U.S. would be meaningless, given the direct threats the U.S. has made recently against Iran. He said Tehran remained open to indirect talks. Excuse me. Direct negotiations with a party that's constantly threatening us, the use of force in violation of the UN Charter, and adopts contradictory positions are meaningless, he said. Trump said the talks with Iran wouldn't be brokered by intermediaries, as occurred during the Biden administration. We have a very big meeting on Saturday, and we're dealing with them directly. You know, a lot of people say, oh, maybe you're going through surrogates and you're not dealing directly, you're dealing through other countries. No, we're dealing with them directly. So that's the other news of the day.
Pretty huge.
Yeah.
I think probably because we've seen, how's that other tactic working? It hasn't. So might as well just go right to it and then hold them to it. And if they don't hold up their end of the deal, then they know what the ramifications are, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you're going to punish your kid, do you go tell your kid's friend?
I mean, honestly, I was about to do like a tough parent. There's like when you're like punishing a kid, like they want to know you're not messing around from Jump Street,
right?
So Trump goes about this all soft and gentle-handed. I don't think it has the same impact.
No.
I think Trump's biggest strength is his unpredictability. Everyone's got him labeled as this loose cannon, this crazed madman, but I think it's all calculated. You do, right?
I do. I agree. 100%.
Yeah, and I think he's got a good team around him. You know, I think, Bessent's a good guy.
Yep.
Peter Navarro, I trust. By the way, how about the hubbub with him and
Elon?
Musk? I think Musk is just a little salty that he lost $18 billion in the last couple of days. Be a bag of shells.
It's a bag of shekels.
He could lose that in his couch cushions playing with the kids, one of his 13 kids. So I don't know. Yeah, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna break up the deep state, do it with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Be a bull in a china. I bought a bull in a china shop. That's what I'm getting. I'm not thrilled with some of the fodder he gives the mainstream media. They give him so many talking points to continue to build a sentiment against him. But I really believe this is a currency war. I think he's definitely trying to push down the market, rise the bond market, force the rates down, refi the debt at a better rate. I think there's a reason to all this.
Well, again, the problem now is the 10-year is higher than it was on Liberation Day. And China sold $50 billion of treasuries today in response to Trump saying that if they don't withdraw the 34% increase, he's going to put another 50% on. They said, oh, yeah, okay, we're going to sell $50 billion in treasuries. And the yield on the 10-year now is higher than it was on Liberation Day. So you're getting this
you'd have
tit
to
for
expect
tat
a
right
response. Now. Look, China's not going to roll over, that's for sure. But I just think if we had a unified country,
they hold so
America,
much debt of ours.
Oh, no question about it.
True.
I mean, $36 trillion. It's going to go somewhere. But
they do hold a lot of debt, but it'd be a shame if we didn't actually pay it off. They have to keep that in mind too. It's like, well, we can't wreck them if we need to get paid back. So it goes back and forth. It'll be who blinks first, I guess. And speaking of which, since we are doing some more tariff talk, here's what the World Economic Forum had to say. I think, Paul, you'll enjoy this one, cut number 11, as the globalists come to the realization of what has just happened to them. Here's cut number 11. Check this out.
Trump has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician, has risen. Somebody who, if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, dead politically, known to me. He's now return. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
We need to also factor in not only who's won, which is Trump, but who's lost, which is to say us. And I guess I would throw into that the epitome of the us who is losing here is Europe. That the European Union and by and large its member states have misread the direction where events were going. The causes that it is interested in, climate, human rights, some others.
Yeah.
I mean, BS, and more BS, climate, blah, 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 human rights, blah, blah. Okay, like they care about human rights. What a joke.
No, but I think the overall message there is they're admitting they made the wrong call.
Well, what was the politician over in the EU said? We have to admit that globalism is a complete failure and the EU is going to collapse on itself. You know, we're watching a lot of that going over there. And look, that's why populism has risen everywhere, essentially. And that's why we're seeing like Lagarde and Erdogan. And we're seeing all these leaders who are populists getting smashed into jail cells and fake charges.
Like Marine Le Pen as well.
Le Pen, too.
All right, that's a wrap. Wow, that's a wrap. Hour 1 already. Hour 2 coming up.
He's not. Where's he's at? Right, volunteer, right? Is he Tennessee? Oh, Stony Brook. Is there a club team he could probably? Yep, that'll burn a kid out. Stinks. Yeah, a little bit of time away. I remember the clips you showed me. He was great from outside. He was just draining 3 after 3 after 3. Soft hands, right? Really good touch. Sucks. Make him stronger. Look at this guy. So Slick, I'm rooting for Florida for you, right? We're all rooting for Florida.
We all had Florida. Not too many people had Houston. Not too many. This is gonna be a good game back and forth.
That's just an accident. They're calling a foul.
Oh yeah, flagrant one. Throw him out. Chat. What's going on, chat? Come on. People are asking me what do I think is a nice hotel around. I'm sending them to the Hyatt in Hop Hog. That's nice. Yeah. Hyatt, Big D. It's not too far. For people.
I was thinking the Hollywood Hotel over on.
Otherwise, you have the Hilton Garden Inn over here. It's too bad on Betts Highway. That's clean. But if you want something a little nicer with a nice restaurant and that, you could the Windwatch. That's not too far from the warehouse.
Windwatch, definitely.
Yeah. Because then you don't have much until you go further west. There was a new boutique hotel that opened up. I'll have to look that up.
Where's that?
Somewhere in Islip area. I gotta get that. Those are big now. Those boutique hotels. They're building those things like crazy.
right, hour 2, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, April 7th. Glad you're in, everybody, whether you're watching on Real America's Voice or on any of the socials. Welcome on in. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's doing the news. Paul Nolan's doing the news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Glad you're in. Lots to do in hour 2. Lots to do. Busy night. Crazy Town coming up here in hour 2. Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes,
Nice.
I missed this one. This is a Crazy Town. You might recognize the subject of Crazy Town, but I missed this episode at the DNC back when they were a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month or so ago, electing a new leader. Or this might not be that. This might be a new DNC meeting that they had recently. So we'll give you a look at that here in hour 2 as well. But since it's a big night, national championship game, let's do sports right now to kick off hour 2. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. If you're shopping for Easter, as many of you are sending me emails saying that you're doing, there's a lot of great stuff that Mike has. You look at those. He's got some beautiful religious pillows. He's got his chain, his cross. He's got a lot of nice stuff. If you're looking for a gift for somebody for Easter, or you're just obviously shopping for yourself, go to mypillow.com/LFS6B and use promo code LFS6B at checkout. It'll give you a great savings, 50-60% off sometimes. So they sponsor sports. Slick's got it. Slickster, what's going on?
Easter less than 2 weeks away, Big D.
Yeah,
nice
week
Easter
from
gift
Sunday.
for Mom. Yeah, unbelievable. It's Palm Sunday coming up. All right, well, big game. Big D mentioned it earlier. Men's National Championship, the Natty in San Antonio, just underway. 15 to go in the first. All tied at 8-8 there, the Florida and Houston, both number 1. So great game. 1.5. I think the spread you said got down to 1, right, Big D? 1 point. So I expect a real thriller at the end because both of these teams, they have no quit in them. To the ice we go. NHL action. Well, it's getting late for the Rangers, Rick. They better start winning, or they're going to start playing golf early with their friends, the Islanders, over there across the way. Lightning 3-1 over the Rangers in the Garden. 19 to go there in the third. Blues and Jets tied at 1. 11 to go in the second. Coming up a little bit later tonight, 10:30. Oilers at the Ducks. Kraken at the Kings, and Flames at the Sharks, all 10:30 puck drops. NBA light schedule tonight. We have the Kings leading the Pistons 97-94, end of 3, with 7 to go in the third. The Heat over the Sixers 71-68. Glad to see nothing change there. And let's get to baseball a little bit, right? We got baseball action going on. Pirates 8-3 over the Cardinals, middle of the eighth. Middle of the eighth as well. The Nationals leading the Dodgers 6-4. We got the Red Sox trailing the Blue Jays 5-1, top of the eighth. Bottom of the sixth, Mets blanking the Marlins in a soaky, sogged City Field, 1-0 there. Twins trail the Royals 3-1, middle of the fifth. Bottom fifth, Cubs leading the Rangers 3-zip. Check that. Earlier today, the Tigers of Detroit beat the Yankees 6-2 in Detroit. So good win there. Reds taking on the Giants at 9:45, looking for another loss. And let's go, Big D. We got to get to this couple of stories here. Great story. Trump gushes over Shohei Ohtani as president welcomes Dodgers to the White House. Now they're getting beat by the Nationals right now, but Ohtani won the NL MVP award amid an historical season. This is Ryan Gatos of Fox News. President Donald Trump touted Shohei Ohtani's accomplishments as he welcomed the Los Angeles Dodgers to the White House on Monday to celebrate their 2024 title. Trump spoke highly of Japanese Dodgers star who put himself into a club of his own during the 2024 regular season. He became the first batter in MLB history to hit at least 50 home runs and steal at least 50 bases. And of course, Trump said he looks like a movie star. We have a clip though from that, cut 5, I believe. Aaron, if you could roll that.
Mr. President, we have a gift for you as well.
Oh, I like that.
He loves the sports, President. Look at that. Get that frame, President Trump.
Yeah, it's Clayton Kershaw, Dodgers starting pitcher.
He had a great clip. Yeah, great picture.
Come on, boys. Clear the podium there.
Come on, let's go now. Clearance. Here comes the president. Great clip. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. What a great year they had. Unbelievable. So
The best.
You have the clip that follows that?
One of the moments I think of the year happened in that press conference.
Oh, please.
And
is it when he doesn't acknowledge the senators?
yeah.
And the whole
That
team's
would be,
reaction.
Yeah,
was
so
great.
that would be cut 12. if you want to play it.
This is one of the greatest. I can't believe this didn't get more attention today. This is one of the greatest moments I've ever seen.
Congratulations, Brian. And others, we have a couple of senators here. I just don't particularly like them, so I won't introduce. Over the course of this amazing season, the members of this team.
I love it.
That's decent.
He doesn't care anymore with these guys.
I didn't think it was that big a deal, actually. Washington.
Washington.
He's a beauty.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Nope, this is it. One and done. Final term. He's going to take no prisoners. I love that.
California senators. You know who that is?
There's only two.
There's
Good old
only
Slick.
two.
Good old Slick throwing a speedball.
Oh my God, I love that. That's one of the. I mean, that is a man.
Just classic.
That is just classic Trump, man. I don't particularly
He's got
like him.
I didn't think it was
Play that
that
one
big a
more
deal.
time, Aaron.
And he does it right to their face.
And others, we have a couple of senators here. I just don't particularly like them, so I won't introduce. Over the course of this amazing season, the members
Background.
of
Watch
this
the
team,
faces.
Because they know. That is a moment in time.
Oh my God.
I didn't think it was that big a deal, actually. Washington.
That's the only clip I wanted to send. I knew you'd have it.
I got to wrap that sports right there, Big D. The president gave the senators a nice wrap.
All right, Slick. Very good. Speaking of Trump clips, let's go back a little bit. That's a funny one from today. How about 1995? Let's go back to 1995 and see how Trump would deal with trade deficits. Here he is.
I couldn't believe this last auto deal as an example. Here we are. We're sitting there. It's restricted in Japan. Everything's restricted. We're sitting. They can't come in. And all of a sudden, this country folds. We do the old fold out. I've never seen it.
That isn't the way the press reported it.
Well, no.
The press reported it that we had a deal.
Roger Ailes.
And then all of a sudden, it turned out that the deal turned out that it was not a good deal for us. And we had all the cards. I mean, it's not like we didn't have the cards. It's like, keep your cars out of here until you open up. That's all. Keep your cars out. And then the first hour was like, oh, we made this wonderful deal. After about 15 seconds after that, people realized we got duped. I just don't understand it.
What's wrong with us? I mean, I guess they said, well, this would hurt American car dealers.
You know, what's wrong with us? I don't know. They're afraid politically to make a little bit of a tough stand. That wasn't even a tough one. That was a no-brainer. You would have had the Japanese cars out for 19 and a half seconds, and you would have won every single point. It's the most incredible failure in negotiation that I've seen. But it happens all the time. I just don't understand it. So I would take a much harder stand. I'd take a much more difficult stand, I would say. Make a couple of enemies. I think I'd make a lot of friends, ultimately.
If the United States government took a firmer stand with foreign countries, would we be better off, or are we so much now a part of the nation of the community of nations that we can't really afford to offend anybody?
I think we'd be better off, and I think we'd be far more respected. I think the Japanese would respect us far more than they do. I don't think they have any respect for us, and they shouldn't have any respect for us because we are idiots when it comes to what's happening. I mean, look at dealing with Japan. I mean, just take a look at what's going on. I mean, they make hundreds of billions of dollars a year, and we lose money in deficits, and nothing happens. And they say, no, the Japanese are learning, and they're starting to open up. In the meantime, every second goes by, we're losing. I just think that people would have far greater respect for this country if we took a much tougher stand. It's really quite pathetic. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I mean,
it's just so consistent.
We can't say he's not consistent.
Nope.
There you
And
go.
he was a Democrat then.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially.
I mean,
a big New York City lib, essentially at that time. Because he's talked about this, by the way. He's talked about this.
but keep in mind though, like that era of, I guess, Democrat, nothing like today.
No.
Absolutely,
No.
positive.
Mayor Koch,
no
right?
resemblance whatsoever.
That was Koch back then. Right?
Unrecognizable.
Yeah. Bill,
I mean, even going back as to 2008, some of the speeches, early Obama speeches, wouldn't be recognized in this party now, especially on immigration.
no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't be recognized either. So,
because you remember that was the big crying point for guys like Bernie Sanders as well. It was a Koch brother. Anytime you mention Soros to a liberal, what do they say? Oh, the Koch brothers. Okay, they suck too. And the Koch brothers wanted the illegal immigration. They wanted cheap labor. And every liberal on the planet was saying these guys are demons, they're evil. But okay, now we got liberals essentially crying for what, 90% of all the stocks are owned by the top 10% earners in America. Okay, great. So now they're crying for the multi-billionaire class. What's happening? Liberals have no idea what they want, why they want it. They just listen to Rachel Maddow and Whoopi Goldberg, and they think they're smart. I mean, the people who can't identify a woman are telling me about economics. Right. Great line. Exactly. I would love to know.
Experts on men getting pregnant.
That's it.
Now they're tariff experts, like TikTok said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by the way, that's why when you see like Scott Besson on with Kristen Welker, I mean, these liberal commentators are so far over their head trying to even deal with this, with some of these people. That's why, actually, as much as I hate when they give any of these people oxygen, I actually think in this respect, on the tariffs deal, it actually works.
Yeah. Do you have that clip? Because at one point I thought, what's her name? I can't remember. She was going to say, I like gum and cake and cats. She had no idea how to follow up on questions. She was so lost.
Well, like, here's a little bit of Besson on with Kristen Welker on Sunday's Meet the Press.
Kristen, what I like is data. And if we look at data from President Trump's first term, and there's a big study that just came out from a group of economists, mostly at MIT, that showed that a 20% tariff on China led to a 0.7% tax or price level increase over 4 years. I think that's pretty good. If we can take in 20% in tariffs and it's a 0.7% increase. And Kristen, the little publicized story this week, everyone wants to look at the stock market going down. You know what else went down? Oil prices went down almost 15% in 2 days, which impacts working Americans much more than the stock market does. Interest rates hit their low for the year, so I'm expecting the mortgage applications to pick up.
Well, just to be very clear, though, I mean, during President Trump's first terms, the cost to Americans was nearly $80 billion in new taxes due to his tariffs. The prices did go up on everything from washing machines to tires.
Well, no, but let's go back. The aggregate number was 0.7, so we can discern the individual things. Also, households saw real net wages go up. So if wages go up faster than prices, which is not what happened over the past 4 years, that's why the bottom 50% got eviscerated.
Yeah. Try to keep up, Kristen. Try to keep up.
Well, she went for the big flashy number. Oh, it went up $80 billion. That's what it cost.
What they all do. They try to. They think they've got some fact that they're going to sneak in there and get them, and then they look like fools.
Yeah, because they're coached up by their bosses and they don't know what they're talking about.
All right, we're back right after this.
It's over.
I said that. I was saying that with that game the other night with Duke. This thing's
when Cooper Flag hit that 3-point.
Yeah, it was over, right?
He loves the reverse Maloika.
Yeah. Flag hit that 3-pointer.
This guy's like Neil.
I thought it was done.
He worked for me for like 6 months, and he was one of the weirdest men I've ever met in my life.
Neil would walk in my office. I'm not kidding. He'd walk in my office.
I had a guy work.
Neil, get out of here.
I had a guy, Chris, we used to call him CP. He would come in, and I'd never seen anybody. We're down 4-0 in a basketball game. He's like, we're getting shut out. We're getting shut out. or he would always yell, we're on the wrong side of a fix. It's 4-0. We're 18 seconds in.
Hey, Damon, you got one read here and a guest at 9:30.
Julian Barbieri.
No, that's tomorrow.
What a shame. I'm not going to be there. I'm dying to ask her about Eric Andre.
Yeah, there were 2 updates today.
So what am I doing?
Birch Gold is your read.
Oh.
And Home Title Lock is the interview.
Where's that update? This is
the one from 3:56 p.m. today.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
Yeah, Birch Gold is the very top of it.
Right, but it doesn't say it says it's to begin immediately, but it's not. It doesn't say tonight.
But and you scroll down and you get to the chart that has it. Oh, they changed that too? Okay, now it's Wellness Company is the read. The chart from the earlier update had it the other way around.
Hey, Slick.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been talking to Kristen.
You got a
Magan.
super chat.
I've been talking to Kristen Magan. Kristen Magan.
$10 super chat from Drag Blacker. It's so strange how no one in the media, not even conservatives, ever remark how Trump is the first president since Grover Cleveland to have non-consecutive terms, 140 years, and it's shrugged at. That's a good point.
Yeah, you retweeted her. You said she...
Nothing on the Fort Knox audit yet.
Okay. Yeah, she's...
Thank you, Drag Blacker.
Yeah,
All right, 17 past the hour. Sound like the blues on a Monday night. It's a new day in America and a new administration in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of excitement and optimism about the future, but the reality is there's a lot of work to do, especially when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The truth is that the forces that are responsible for breaking our healthcare system aren't going to simply go away. The challenges our system faces won't disappear overnight. Now more than ever, you need to be prepared. That's where the Wellness Company comes in. You know the Wellness Company. Their doctors are medical professionals that you can trust, and their line of prescription medical kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy. Whether it's the medical emergency kit, the contagion kit, the first aid kit, or the travel kit, these prescription kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of all medications. So from the flu to strep throat, from COVID to bird flu, from a trip to the beach to a trip overseas, the Wellness Company has a prescription kit designed to keep you and your family safe. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part. Protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/voice. Today in order, that's twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some news. We're Rick Delgado. News brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition, available at live from studio6b.com. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. I don't know if you caught this over the weekend, but President Trump's own secretary, AG Secretary Rollins, was on with Jake Tapper over at CNN. Of course, she was on the Sunday morning show, State of the Union, and talked about the Trump administration's tariffs already making countries negotiate. Rollins said, I think it's important, really important to realize that last Wednesday was when the president announced this new American order, the new American economic plan. We're now 2 days in, right? We've got only 2 days of data. Here is Jake Tapper responding to some of what she said. This is cut number one, as Brooke Rollins takes a moment after he says what he says to actually laugh in Jake Tapper's face. Here's cut one. Check it out.
You've got 2 days of data. Everyone, especially on your side, on the left, is freaking out.
I'm not on the left.
But at the end of the day, listen, this whole concept, all right, Jake, thank you. This whole concept is about rebuilding an American economy around American
Is this the
good.
crazy down? I didn't think it looked like it.
Could have been crazy.
I didn't think it looked like that.
Wait a sec. Wait,
What?
Did he have a straight face when he said that?
Yeah, he said, I'm not on the
he's
left.
front of
And
center.
then she kind of laughed. She's like, yeah, okay, thanks, Jake.
Not on the left.
You've
She
got
said,
2
okay.
days of data. Everyone, especially on your side, on the left, is freaking out.
I'm not on the left.
But at the end of the day,
Okay,
listen,
thanks,
this
Jake.
whole
Jake.
concept, all right, Jake, thank you. This whole concept is about rebuilding an American economy around
great.
American good.
I'm not on the left. Just
Not
look
on
at
the
your
left.
face.
Right.
He actually has him. He probably has himself convinced of that too every day
Right.
when he sits down to do that show.
Yeah.
I'm so objective.
Rollins also added, so I think in short order, a real positive outcome from this. We've already got 50 countries that have come to the table the last couple days, over the last weeks, that are willing and desperate to talk. We are the economic engine of the world, and it's finally time that someone, President Trump, stood up for America. So that's a reaction from Jake Tapper, not wanting to acknowledge that, hey, you're kind of on the left.
Yeah, no, I'm on the communism left, Joe, as Jake should have said.
Exactly. And I know this is one that'll make you smile there, Paul. A charge an international porn ring involved with over 1 million files busted in Florida. Because I know we all hate these people.
Oh, yeah.
They're all disgusting slime bags. At least 8 suspects are facing charges in connection with an international child porn ring involving more than 1 million videos and photos showing sexually abused children that was busted by authorities in Florida. Here's cut number 8. Here's the Florida AG and what he had to say about this cut number 8.
Busting an international child pornography ring. We will be bringing charges against 8 individuals this morning, 7 of whom are Florida residents. As a dad of 3 little ones, it's tough to talk about some of this stuff, but what these guys were doing was truly heinous. There's not a word in the English dictionary that can describe the gross content that was on the videos. Our investigators have been able to get their hands on over 1 million videos showing sexual abuse on minors. Many of these individuals were babies that are being sold around the world.
Oh, my God.
Through a chat room, the agents discovered the website selling the materials.
Just hang them.
Yeah. And
just hang them.
Agents were
after
able
a fair trial, of course.
Right. Agents were able to get a hold of the 6.7 terabytes of child porn and videos for just $100. Here is his second cut about his harsh words for these dirtbags. Cut number 9. Here's the Florida AG.
So today, these 8 defendants are being charged with multiple felony counts, including RICO, money laundering, and purchase of child pornography. Again, I can't tell you in words how gross this content is, but it shows the dangers, the evil that's out there. It is truly evil. And you've got my word that in this state, we are going to do everything we can to hold these people accountable. If you are a child predator, if you are one of these sick people, then I hope you never see the sun again. And I hope you certainly never have access to kids again.
You know what? I'm not a death penalty guy. And again, as a Christian, very difficult to pray and forgive these people. I would much rather see them down in Guantanamo Bay. The life down there, live a life of misery down there, and hopefully repent. It's disgusting beyond words. I feel bad for the agents, obviously, but these poor kids. I mean, there's really no words for this. I hope every single person who subscribed goes to jail for a long time as well.
Oh yeah, you couple this with the big international bust they did last week.
Yeah,
the Europol took down another
what
huge
is the
ring.
Average sentence? I hope the audience could find this. What's the average sentence for one of these losers, these lowlifes, these demons who actually sign up for this? Not just the people who purvey it, the people who sign up. How long are they? What kind of prison sentence do they get? Because they deserve just as much as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it depends on if you get a liberal judge. Liberal judge love to let these guys out. So anyhow,
I'm not.
Someone just texted me and said, "F that." Set those pedos on fire.
Believe me,
that's a little strong too.
Well, I could see it though. The old
might be better than my idea. Why ruin a good rope?
This is the hardest thing to forgive and forget and pray for. It's just such a challenge.
I hear you.
Yeah. So, anyhow, switching gears just a little bit. I know we've got the big game is on right now. Do you want to do some sports with Slick, or do you want me to just finish out?
Yeah, just finish out.
Okay, cool. I've got I've got this clip here since we are talking about things changing gears. You hear about Florida's stand your ground law when it comes to people breaking into your house. Well, I don't know exactly where this happened, but you'd call this golf club justice, as a man was throwing rocks into another person's home. And, well, this was the outcome when you decide you're going to defend your home. Here's cut number 13. Check this out.
Watch out.
He's trying to throw rocks into this window, breaking it.
Oh, F around and find out.
Little Rav Open justice right there.
Wow.
As the guy ran him down with the golf cart, and they held him in place with the golf cart there to make sure he doesn't get away.
Wow.
So
what prompted that? Was that a libtard mad at a Trump flag or something?
Didn't say. It's just this is people are deciding, you know what, I'm not going to let people, take advantage of me and ruin my stuff or break into my home or ruin my cars anymore. People are taking things into their own hands.
Wow.
So there you have it, a little golf cart justice.
What's in your cart?
So what?
When you said golf justice, I would golf cart's good too, but a teed up Titleist D3 at about ball speed off the tee at about 150 miles an hour towards him would have
that'd be
been effective too.
Of the course. Yeah.
Or actually, I would have aimed for 2. You know what I mean?
4. I should have yelled 2. They tied it at 21. 8-0 run. The game of runs, Rick. It's like going down to the local Mexican restaurant. Game of runs. And then it becomes a Game of Thrones. That's where you spend the rest of your night.
That's a good one. I like it.
All right, what's going on in the chat?
I also had a sad story. I didn't want to, the kid, transgender kid who hates white people. His documents are coming out. It's diary.
Oh, the Nashville tranny? Yeah.
I was going to do it, but it's just another hateful story, so I decided to opt out of it. I got a funny one, though, if you want to do it.
Bought a coffee. Good Big D. We got all kinds of creamers. I bought a creamer today, too, but I got to bring it in when I have time.
Did you?
We have creamers in the...
nice.
Caramel macchiato. Your caramel coffee.
A macchiato.
Macchiato, man, look at this. Up by, it's an 8-0 run here, and Houston has the ball. He gets this here, it's over. Look at this. Whoa! Look at that. Take that ball. What do you think, Big D? 29-21 here. 4 to go?
8 points.
First half? Nothing. Florida likes to play from behind.
Boy, some guy, Charity Chris, is killing me for saying I'm not a death penalty guy. So I'm going to talk about this in my men's group tomorrow because this is the most difficult thing to. This is so terrible.
Death penalty.
Well, I mean, some people are broken. People that prey on kids like that. There's no therapy to get you past.
Well, exactly.
Well, because there's no healing those people.
Right.
They're so beyond
broken.
sick.
Right. They're broken.
How come
they're pure demons on earth? I mean, how do you,
1 million pieces of video? How the hell is that out there?
Because I couldn't get my head around 7
pieces?
You said 6 or 7 terabytes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour. God. 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Brand new week getting started. Slick's doing sports. We'll check in on that national championship game here coming up in a second. Delgado's got more news. Paul Nolan's got more news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down on a Monday. Want to welcome everybody in, whether you're watching on Real America's Voice or on any of the socials. Right now, let me tell you, John Summer is a Emmy and multi-award winning anchor and investigative reporter with great depth in the broadcast and print industry, having also served as regional president of the Society of Professional Journalists and lecturer at Poynter Institute, Cal Poly State University, California Specialized Training Institute, and other educational institutions. John is currently researching the growing crime of home title theft, and he's been nice enough to give us a few moments tonight. John, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. I've been having a good time just listening to you guys during the break.
Sorry.
That intro ramp was way too long. But yeah, I'm working with the crime right now of title theft. It's really an interesting crime because up until now, 6B boys, this has not been on the horizon for most law enforcement departments because, you know, when they see a crime and somebody comes in and hits you over the head and steals your watch or whatever, home title theft or deed theft, or my new favorite term right now is title pirates, is a stealth crime where they come in and you'll never know it. They steal. They can fake all the documents to transfer a title of your property. It doesn't have to be a home. In fact, they don't care if it's a home or anything. It could be vacant land. It's the value of it. And once they transfer it into their name or some other entity's name, then they can extract all the value by taking out loans or selling it to someone that's unsuspecting. And it is huge right now, and people are just starting to find out about it.
Yeah. You know, you hear about AI and technology and it's advancing the world and it's all great and good and this and everything else. But how much of this is made easier for the criminals because of the ease and the accessibility to public information, things like that can be found so easily online? How much does that factor in?
Yeah, that's a super question because originally when this crime first started, like 25 years ago, and the FBI termed it house stealing, you'd have to actually get, you know, the physical documents, go down to the county clerk's office, get a notary stamp and try to make it all look official, and then transfer it. Nowadays with AI, as you mentioned, the internet and everything else, you can get all this stuff offline right now. Anybody, anywhere in the world can find out anything about anybody else and do it very easily online. And you would never know about it until, you know, the bank or the loan company comes knocking 2 or 3 months later down the road, and you're stuck, you know, with the vestiges of this crime. It's insidious.
Yeah. You know, people think, I talk to people about this, and people say, well, you know, when you think about, I got to go get stuff notarized, and people ask me for my ID, and all this stuff is necessary when I do real estate transactions, and they would figure it's necessary for when these things take place as well. So when it comes to these counties and they get this paperwork down at the county clerk's office, why do they accept it, or do they just not know it's fraudulent?
Because they can't ask. I mean, if it all looks official, then that's all they need to know. You know, it's government. And then they pass it on and next, you know, and as I said before, it's so easy to do right now. And most people aren't even aware that this is a crime until it's too late. In fact, interesting little factoid here. I became a member of Home Title Lock. This is a company that does monitoring. We're going to talk about it. When I first started to investigate this crime, my wife and I just put our house on the market. I got an alert 2 days ago. I go, okay, what's this all about? And I go and I get onto the website, and they notified me that the house was put on the MLS, the multiple listing service. That is fantastic. It works. So it doesn't have to be a crime taking place. It's anything that is involved with your property that they monitor and then alert you. And then and this is called Home Title Lock, the company, then if something fishy happens or if it actually gets transferred, it can happen very quickly. Then they work with you to restore the title back into your good name, up to $1 million. Otherwise, guys, you have to go through the court system. You have to hire an attorney. It takes years sometimes to go through it before you can, you know, get the property back to where it belongs.
Yeah. We're speaking with John Sommer. He's an investigative reporter dealing with home title lock and dealing with home title theft, and it's a growing problem. Who are the main victims that people target? And is it because they're more susceptible, or it's just easier to find their information online? Who is the most susceptible, and who is the most targeted for this crime?
Great question. And the answer is you, me, and everybody that's listening right now. Now, obviously, people that aren't, say you have an Airbnb or maybe a cabin in the woods, or maybe it's your grandmother's house, they're going to be easier pickings. And I can tell you so many stories because the vultures are out there looking for the easy pickings. But anybody can be a victim. Out here on the Central Coast of California, open land, undeveloped land is up for grabs right now. I work with the local DA's office. They've had over 100 cases in the last year just with undeveloped property because it's so valuable. So anybody, anywhere can be a victim. By the way, it's not just individuals that are doing this. There are criminal enterprises all around the world that are doing this crime of title theft or deed theft.
Yeah. So if you think that something's up, if I'm a person who for some reason gets something in the mail and says, wait, what is this? Or you get an alert. If you call Home Title Lock, what is a company like that? What do they do? And is there ever a time where it's too late to call somebody like that?
Well, actually, they will. Well, you can go on to their website right now. I think you folks at 6B have a promo. If I'm not mistaken, and this is such a coincidence. I think the code is Studio 6B, but go onto their website and they've got a deal on there for your listeners and viewers. And just look at the website, HometitleLock.com, and there are all kinds of stories on there. I just had the pleasure of just looking through it the other day, as I said, because I got an alert from my home that we put on the market. So look at that. Find out what this crime is, hear the real stories, and then see if it works for you. I mean, do your own due diligence. Don't take my word for it. But I'm telling you, this is a stealth crime that everybody right now can be a victim of. It's out there and it's nasty. And when you look at your investments, people are looking at the market right now. You got mutual funds, maybe you got Bitcoin or gold. Your home, for most people, is the greatest value of your assets. That's what you should be looking out for.
Yeah. Very good. We're speaking with John Sommer. He's an investigative reporter. John, I really appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
It is my pleasure. Take care.
And as John said, you can go to HometitleLock.com/Studio6B right now and use promo code Studio6B to get a free title history report so you can find out if you're already a victim. And you can get 14 days of protection for free. Check it out. See what it would be like to have it. And make sure to check out the $1 million triple lock protection details when you get there. Exclusions apply. For details, go to HometitleLock.com/Studio6B. HometitleLock, all one word, .com/Studio6B. All right, 38 past the hour. Let's do some news. Paul Nolan is here. Mr. Nolan has some news. What else is on your radar?
Well, I thought this was funny. AOC flies first class to Bernie Sanders' fight oligarchy rally as critics pan lefty poll for battling inequality one mimosa at a time.
Yeah.
This is from the New York Post. Did you guys do this already? Or?
No, but I always love these kind of stories. It's like back when Elizabeth Warren used to do these big fundraisers for these causes about, middle class and the rich and this, and they don't pay their fair shares. And then you look where she's having it. You know where she's having it? She's having it in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Where everybody shows up in a limo to the thing.
Yeah, and
she's there screaming about people paying their taxes.
Yeah, and they're sending back the caviar that's not fresh enough. Yeah. So, and an incredulous passenger snapped a picture of AOC getting comfy in her roomy first-class cabin of JetBlue on March 19th, which departed from Queens to Las Vegas, where she spoke at Bernie's fighting oligarchy rally. The next day, the equality-spouting darling of the far left headlined the rally, and her socialist comrade, Bernie Sanders, she said, nothing says power to the people like ignoring voters, looking to say hello and reclining in first class while tweeting about income inequality is what the poster said. So I love this stuff. It's the endless hypocrisy. We already know she's worth what, like $3 million already? $3.5 million?
Yeah. Something like that.
Not bad for a bartender with an IQ of 17. So the
That's
story goes
spotting
on, but it's the same old redundant stuff. It's but I thought the audience would get a kick out of this.
All right. Anything else, Paul?
No, I just have so much on the tariffs, but we kind of covered it all in the break. We covered it all along the way. So
all right. How about Crazy Town? Let's do Crazy Town here. Again, I don't know if I just missed this or this is a more recent. I hope it's a more recent meeting, and I hope this is a tradition that the DNC is getting into now, because we've seen this once, but this is a little different, a different time, different meeting, and I just love it. Here it is, Crazy Town. Roll it, Aaron. Hello. Oh.
Is that Big Mike's big sister?
Oh, you're on. Oh.
We shall
Is this Lizzo?
overcome.
Here we go.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome today.
A little flat on that.
Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe
You pitchy dog.
we shall overcome today.
No, I'm not trying to be a wise guy. I'm dead serious here. Is this somebody who identifies, or?
Not even like a thank you or nothing.
Very serious. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was, man, what
the hell is even that? That's your buddy.
What was the 11-second
I saw that. I saw
The
him
intro.
podium
Let me clear my throat.
before we launched in to the key of non-binary. What was that? The 11-second.
I think she wanted to make sure that everybody was looking in her direction. Maybe. I don't know.
She needs no introduction.
She needs a reduction.
She looked hungry.
Sorry.
She was singing for her dinner.
All right, we're back to wrap it up on a Monday.
In trouble.
Thanks for killing my ears.
That be our new opening?
Yes.
It should be.
Fran, make it so.
Fran, should we open the show with that every night?
Absolutely not.
We shall. Maybe we can get it to the warehouse on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're talking.
Her head would explode if she saw that place.
Start live at 11.
maybe,
Make sure you got that steak truck there.
maybe we have.
She'll eat the front wheel of that truck.
We'll have her and Bon
That's
Iver.
terrible.
Her and
Paul,
Bon
that's
Iver could do a duet.
I'm going to egg you on.
Dr. Octavia, whatever her name is, and Bon Iver could do a duet.
You've
That'd be
got
huge.
something there.
I know.
You've got something there.
Is
Delgado.
Bon Iver like an Icelandic ambient band or something?
We have the Bon
it's a
Iver
guy.
clip.
Bon Iver is a star.
It's a guy.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Look at Fran. Aaron, no.
Bon Iver's a
It's
star.
like, no.
Got a good game going on here, Big D.
LSU Patriot
We should try to mix Bon Iver with her and see what it comes out like.
Drag Blacker, pump it in the money. Thank you, Drag Blacker. Thank you, LSU Patriot.
Please don't.
Super chats. We got super chats going on.
Yep. My ears are already bleeding.
Yes, LSU Patriot. He is the man.
My buddy Kevin just texted me from Arizona. Please make it stop.
What really caught my attention was the lead up. I didn't even care about the singing part. It was when she took the podium.
Mr. AZ Mike, last call, family. The last clip was unbelievable. Too funny.
Oh,
that was repulsive. Carla Z says, "Yep, she's oppressed."
Oppressed or depressed?
Melanie Russ, we'll just call her the crazy town howler. All right.
You guys see the study that if you got the flu vaccine, you're like 17% more likely to get the flu this year? Maybe it's 27% more?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you guys follow up on that story of those nurses who all got brain cancer at the same time? They all.
Is that out of Canada?
I forgot where it was, but they all had the exact same symptoms. From the, it's all linked to the vax.
That's terrible.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. You know, I never thought I had allergies, but man, every time we get to this part of the year, I seem to get this. It's got to be allergies, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you get?
Because I feel fine, but I just feel like it's just like coughing.
It's probably allergies.
Pollen on the cause.
Yeah,
the
it's
pollen
pollen,
is
right?
getting bad. It got bad last week. It started.
Yeah, that's when I started to feel it. Like in the
Even with
last
all
week.
this rain, the rain doesn't like matter.
No, that makes it worse.
Yeah, it actually makes it worse.
Can your allergies get worse as you get older? Like everything else gets worse?
I used to not have allergies, and now I have.
It's like your finances. It gets worse as you get older.
What?
It's like our finances. It gets worse as we get older.
Everything gets worse as you get older.
I know.
All right, what time is it? 13 to the hour. Let's do some more sports and news before I wrap it up. On a Monday night, we'll start with the news. News is brought to you by our friends at Freedom Force Nutrition. And here with that is Rick Delgado. Delgado, what else is going on tonight?
Hey, I don't know if you saw this. This story just broke. Elon Musk's X is launching a crackdown against misleading parody accounts. According to this, the site has had an exemption.
What?
Yeah, the site has an exemption for accounts that impersonate other people if they are labeled as doing so for comedy, but often that loophole is used by scammers who pretend to be other famous users in an attempt to trick people into scams or amplifying their content.
But that's not. Was that considered parody, or is that more considered like identity theft? Yeah,
depends.
So I think of the Babylon Bee as parody, or I think of. I mean, I wouldn't want to see any kind of censorship on either side on a site like that, Onion or Babylon Bee.
Right, but we do see people that
impersonating. Yes,
but like
sometimes the older people get sucked in.
Yeah, right. You'll see Donald Trump parody account.
Right.
But meanwhile, they're pumping out stuff that looks like a Truth Social thing, and I don't like that either. It's a pain in the butt to look through.
Yeah, and some people get sucked into, some of the older folks get sucked into believing they're like friends with like Tom Selleck and stuff, and those are scams. So you got to be
and there's a lot of deep fakes.
mindful of that.
I saw a video today real quick, that it said that the press secretary, forgive me, I'm forgetting the name of something.
Caroline Leavitt.
Yeah, Leavitt. She was suing Whoopi, and Whoopi crumbled on the stand, and it made this news report sounded real, but then you look into Grok, you do your homework, and it's a deep fake to suck people in and discredit what we're standing for. So you got to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. So according to this, one of the first decisions was to remove the verified badges that until now used to show that an account really belonged at who it was claimed to be, and allow people to pay for the small blue check marks. That allowed anyone to change their name and picture to that of another account and made it relatively easy to impersonate others. So I guess they're trying to cut down on some of these loopholes that allow people to kind of pull the wool over some people's eyes. Let's hope it doesn't go too much further than that in terms of censorship. Also, I don't know if you guys caught this. President Trump, when he was talking about tariffs with President Netanyahu, or Prime Minister Netanyahu from Israel, his cut number 4. And again, you're talking tariffs all day. We're talking about countries coming to the table. Here is Netanyahu talking about tariffs with the U.S., cut number 4.
First, if I can mention tariffs, it's a subject of some interest today. I can tell you that I said to the President a very simple thing. We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States. We intend to do it very quickly. We think it's the right thing to do. And we're going to also eliminate trade barriers, a variety of trade barriers that have been put up unnecessarily. And I think Israel can serve as a model for many countries who ought to do the same. I recognize the position of the United States. It says, we're allowing other countries to put tariffs on us, but we don't put tariffs on them. And, I'm a free trade champion, and free trade has to be fair trade. And I think that's basically the position that you have put forward, Mr. President. We are going to eliminate the tariffs, and rapidly. I had the opportunity to speak to Secretary Lutnick yesterday. We talked about how we could effect this quickly, and I hope to bring the solution very quickly. We're not talking about intentions. We're not talking about just words. We're talking about results. And those results are going to come back.
Yeah, so there you have it. The question again is asking why it took so long. Why didn't you just do it to begin with? And, because we're supposed to be allies.
And how much aid do we give them a year?
I was going to say, didn't Trump say something to him like we can't we give you $4 billion a year or something? We can't be having. I think Trump said something to him directly today.
Yeah, we give them a lot more than $4 billion. They got a lot of dough.
Yeah.
It should be a reverse tariff.
So there you have it. There's a little bit of news to close out.
Oh, okay. Very good. Let's do some sports to wrap it up. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, wrap us up. What's going on here in sports?
All right, one more sweep of the scoreboard.
Halftime of this game, huh?
Yes, halftime. Good game. Only a 3-point difference. Right now, Houston, the Cougars leading the Florida Gators 31-28. Battle of the number 1 seeds at the half. Great. Looks like a great finish. We'll see what happens. Will Richard, the senior with Florida, lead old scorers with 14 points right now. So 31-28, and they'll be getting ready to tip off shortly and get that second half going. Should be a thriller. NHL action. Blues and Jets tied at 1:13 to go. They're in the third. Rangers lose in the Garden. Lightning 5-1 over them, Rangers. Oilers and Ducks coming up at 10:30, as is the Kraken, Kings, Flames, and Sharks. All 10:30 puck drops. Sixers fell tonight to the Heat, 117-105. Kings, 127-117, lost to the Pistons. Get to a quick story. Well, certainly want to say Paige Buchers ends UConn's career with national championship as Huskies rout South Carolina. We talked about it earlier in the beginning of the show, Big D, but great run there for UConn, winning their 12th title there. And Paige Buchers, obviously senior, moving on probably to the WNBA. I'm sure she'll be a number 1 pick, right, Big D, or one of the top picks for sure.
I believe she will be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, so good for her. And
I believe her last name is Beckers.
Beckers.
Just to be clear for anybody who
cares about female basketball other than their parents?
What's that?
Anybody who cares about female basketball other than their parents?
Oh, that's not true.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Do you really? You like it?
Oh, UConn's my team, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, WNBA is a great
Did you watch the whole games?
The whole entire thing.
Really? You got a lot more free time than me.
And that's a rapid sports.
That's a rapid sports. All right. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. One more clip. This could have been Crazy Town as well. And as I keep saying, keep putting her out there. Keep putting her out there. Jasmine Crockett, What a Crockett, was speaking somewhere, and here's what it sounded like.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now.
Excuse me?
Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not.
Congresswoman.
You're not. We done picking cotton.
Holy cow.
We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
So I
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Wow.
Talk about like
is that what she thinks? That's what she thinks farmers do, is pick cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Does she eat a lot of cotton? Is that it?
I mean, just keep putting her out there, I think, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing who they've decided are going to be their
champions,
their champion talking heads moving forward, as they decide that what they need to do down is double down on what they did the last 4 years. Although you notice that, boy, they're really starting to finally, even these repulsive people who defended Biden in the media are now all of a sudden writing books about how bad it was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, give me a break with some of these people. It's like, are you kidding me? You're going to write a book now? What's his name? His old chief of staff there.
Time to make money.
I mean, that guy, what a sleazeball. Guy was
get paid.
Now he's like, oh, yeah, it was really bad. Meanwhile, at the time, he was like, oh, no, he's just sound like Joe Scarborough. This is the best version of Biden ever. What are you talking about?
He's sharp as a tack. He's sharp as a tack.
Now he's writing books.
Now, can he be brought up to testify as to the state of mind of Biden during that time?
Yeah, we know what it was. Oatmeal.
Making decisions.
All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, everybody on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. Most of all, though, thank you, live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here, live from Studio 6B.